Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have a really exciting figure to take a look at. This is the Amber Collection Pteranodon, and it is a figure that I have been greatly anticipating for quite some time. It honestly is long overdue that we start to get some alternate species in the Amber Collection line aside from Velociraptors and a Dilophosaurus, so it's really exciting to have a Pteranodon finally included in the line with some beautiful Jurassic Park 3 colors, and honestly this looks to be the best Pteranodon in the Mattel line and the best Amber Collection figure in the entire line, if you ask me. As far as the box art goes, we have your typical Amber Collection style box art, although I do love the fact that it actually says Jurassic Park 3 down there on the bottom. And then once we turn it around, we have an image of the Pteranodon from Jurassic Park 3, as well as some information on the species and the Pteranodon from Jurassic Park 3. Really cool stuff on the part of Mattel as always, but I'm just too excited to see this figure up close, get it out of the box and check it out. So let's go ahead and break it open right now. So here is the stand that goes with our Pteranodon, sporting a new clear look to it. Unfortunately, my camera didn't want to focus on it right there, but you can see a really nice clear look to this one as opposed to that kind of amber coloration that we had previously, which I kind of liked the amber deal because it sort of made them all look like a complete set, but I do quite like this as well. Almost gives me a feeling of it flying over water or something like that. And then here is our Pteranodon, and oh man, that thing is incredible. The Pteranodon here from Mattel is definitely, in my opinion, with just this one look out of the package, the best Amber Collection figure, in my opinion, that we've had so far. The paintwork on this is insanely beautiful. We've had lots of really nice figures previously as far as the sculpt when it comes to Pteranodons in the Mattel line, but paint-wise, again, this thing is just next level gorgeous. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get a closer look at this right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Pteranodon, you can see straight away that the actual appearance to the head sculpt is pretty much picture perfect to what the Pteranodon looked like in Jurassic Park 3. They really nailed the overall appearance to the head sculpt, and I feel like that's kind of been something that's fairly common as far as the Mattel line and the Pteranodons the entire time that the line has been out. They've always done a great job of giving the Pteranodons a really screen-accurate appearance as far as the sculpt goes, and as far as my memory can recall, this looks exactly like the Pteranodon did in Jurassic Park 3, sculpt-wise and paint-wise, honestly, but sculpt-wise is what we're talking about at this point. You can see some incredibly beautiful fine detailing and texture to the head sculpt, the face, the beak area of this Pteranodon. It is all beautifully sculpted. You can see lots of really nice fine detail here as far as like the texturing of the beak and everything on the underside of the Pteranodon. You can also pick out the nostrils up here. The eye is painted perfectly with a yellow and given a black pupil. We'll see what the other side here holds. Yes, very nicely painted yet again as far as that eye goes. And the paint application is insanely impressive. You could see so many different tones of color included here in the head sculpt as far as different variations of reds and browns and yellows, even almost some hints of oranges in certain spots. So it's extremely impressive as far as the coloration goes. Again, much more impressive than I feel like anything from the Amber Collection so far has been. You can see that the crest as well is sculpted in a beautiful way, sporting lots of really nice detail and some incredibly nice paintwork, and the paintwork looks to be really well done. There doesn't appear to be any type of sloppiness as far as the paintwork on this Pteranodon goes at all. And then once we open the mouth, you can see that the teeth inside are painted on both the upper and lower jaws, which is really exciting because sometimes we get one or the other and not both, even though Pteranodon technically did not have teeth. But if the teeth are going to be included, they might as well be painted. And you could see the inside of the mouth is given a very realistic coloration in there. And just like with the raptors, we could see like some hints of reds and stuff, like some reddish washes that have been included within the mouth to give it some alternate color variation or potentially insinuate maybe some blood in there. That's really up to you. You can also see it has a very nice gloss coat to it as well, making sure that it has a very realistic looking kind of like a saliva-like appearance in there, so it genuinely has that realistic wet look like you would find inside the mouth of a living animal. Beautiful work there as far as the mouth, and the jaw articulates, although it does seem a little loose, I will say that. So far, it actually seems to be working pretty smoothly, like it's not falling. Oh, there it fell a little bit, but it doesn't fall very much, but I mean, For the most part, it does still seem pretty loose overall. However, it can open really wide if you'd like it to. As we start to move back into the neck, you can see some more really nice texturing to the skin here in the neck region of the Pteranodon that's beautifully dry brushed over with a kind of a light brown, it seems, and then even some hints of like an orangish brown here on the side of the neck. As we move into the body, you can see again some really nice detailing to the skin here of the Pteranodon. You can also pick up on the spinal column running down the back of the Pteranodon, and you can see again some more of that nice dry brushing, the way they've applied that paint, making sure that that detail pops quite beautifully overall. I really quite like the paint application of this Pteranodon. As we start to move out into the wings, we have a rubbery feel for the wings, kind of a real feel, so that you can bend them and articulate them in any way you like. They are on a wire, so they do bend and articulate really smoothly. And you can again see that the actual texturing here to like the skin in the wings looks really, really good. You could see a lot of beautiful detail included within there, and you can see some really nice yellows and browns that kind of trade back and forth as far as the coloration goes. The brown is very sporadic, the way it kind of runs down and stripes down and just generally is pretty much everywhere throughout the wing, but then you have that yellow coloration, which I love. The way that the yellow and brown play off of each other, it looks really, really cool. Definitely a beautiful appearance for the figure and looks great as far as the actual application of the paint goes. And then as we move out here toward the tip, you can actually see a slightly alternate variation of brown, like it turns into a darker brown once you get out here toward the tip of the wing. You can also see a few more areas that kind of have been hit with a little bit of dry brushing. The texturing in those areas looks really nice, so it's nice for them to bring that detail out pretty well with the dry brushing. You can see some articulation here in the hand, actually. The hand looks quite nice. Again, some more dry brushing has been applied to that area as well, making sure that that pops quite nicely as well. You can see some nice musculature here within the arm there leading out into the wing, and the opposing side here looks pretty much the same as the previous one did. Looks really nice. Again, a transition to a different coloration here, a little bit of a darker brown here for the tip of the wing, but it looks great as far as both the sculpt and paintwork goes. And then if we look at the underside, again, it's pretty much the same deal. The wing looks pretty much the same down here as it did up on the upper side. Really beautifully done. Again, very consistent paintwork as far as this figure goes. So there's no sloppiness at all, and there's nothing that looks inconsistent at all about the paint overall. It looks really, really good. You can also see the underside of the Pteranodon looks really nice. Has a nice kind of a creamy white for the underbelly color. It's smoothly applied. You can see the transitions back to the browns. Looks really smooth as well. And then you also see the hole for the peg to go in when we put it up on the base. And then as we move down into the legs, you can see the legs look really good. Again, also have been given that dry brushing treatment, similar to what we've seen throughout pretty much the entire figure, with kind of like a yellowish coloration, making sure that the detail pops beautifully and just giving it, again, some more alternate color variation, which I really quite like. The feet, as far as the sculpting goes, looks great as well. Again, the paintwork honestly looks beautiful on this figure. There's just so much to love about the paintwork, and the sculpt is just about as spot on as it gets for a JP3 Pteranodon. And then our base, again, is pretty much your standard Amber Collection style base, but this time, as opposed to the amber color that we were receiving previously, it is now a clear color, which, you know, I mean, I don't know how some people will feel about it. I kind of like it, honestly. It looks pretty good. I may have preferred the Amber Collection amber color style over this one, but this one still looks quite nice. Sculpt-wise, again, it's beautifully done. Lots of really nice detailing to it. Just paint-wise, it's nothing more than a clear coloration. Maybe, again, it's actually supposed to insinuate just that the Pteranodon is flying, and this is clear for that reason, or maybe it's flying over water. I don't know. Either way, it still looks quite nice. As far as articulation on our Pteranodon goes, of course, you did see the articulated jaw already. We also have articulation here in the neck. We have a swivel right here, and then articulation here, which can also swivel in the lower part. So you can swivel up here to make the heads of the Pteranodon go whatever direction you would like. But down here, you can also go up or down to articulate it. So it's a little stiff. It hasn't been moved prior to this, but you can also swivel down here as well. So that allows quite a bit of posability in the neck region. Then you also have the wings, of course, that you can articulate up and down, which is pretty much your standard articulation as far as a Mattel Pteranodon goes. You do have articulation here in the hands as well. And then, of course, the wire in the wing allows you to pose the wing in pretty much any position you would like. You also have articulation here in the midsection of the Pteranodon, although it doesn't really move around too smoothly for me. It doesn't give me too many options, but it is there. Then we also have articulation in the hip area, which can swivel or move forward and back, and then articulation in the knee, which I'm not going to force them because they are a little stiff, and then articulation in the ankle as well, all of which swivel and move forward and back. So there's quite a bit of articulation, as always, on our Amber Collection Pteranodon. As far as a size goes, for a length on the wingspan, you are looking at about 18.5 inches or about 47 centimeters. So it has a pretty impressive wingspan for sure. And I don't know how exactly I'm going to get the kind of a side measurement of our Pteranodon unless we move it like this and we get this wing up nice and high, which it's not going to balance very well then. But as far as a length on our Pteranodon goes, you're looking at about 8.25 inches or 21 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Amber Collection Pteranodon, and you can definitely see in comparison to these figures that the Pteranodon sports a very large size overall. Really impressive size as usual when it comes to an Amber Collection figure. Definitely one of the largest Pteranodon from the Mattel line. And for another size comparison, there is one of the smaller, more kind of standard-sized Pteranodon riding the back of the Amber Collection Pteranodon, again showing you that the size of this one is quite impressive in pretty much every way, and really showing you that it's quite impressive next to the more standard-sized Pteranodon from Mattel. So this Mattel Amber Collection Pteranodon is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, and in my opinion, the best Amber Collection figure we've had so far as like the actual prehistoric species go. The Dilophosaurus is a close second, but honestly, I think I like this Pteranodon more because the actual paint application on this is so much better than anything that we've had prior to this. There's a lot of paint application on that Pteranodon there, and it really makes a world of difference as far as the overall appearance goes. And that's not saying that any of the Raptors or the Dilophosaurus were bad, because honestly, the paint application of all of those was really quite nice, if you ask me, aside from Echo anyway, which the paint application was okay on that, just didn't really match up to what it should look like. But again, the actual paint application here on this Pteranodon is just insanely beautiful. So much better than I expected it to be. Really blew me away when I had seen the initial prototype images, and it still has that exact same effect on me currently looking at it here in person. It is just gorgeous as far as that paintwork goes. Really nicely matching up to a JP3 style Pteranodon. Of course, the sculpt is incredible. Every single Mattel Pteranodon since the beginning of the Jurassic World line from Mattel has been an incredible sculpt. They never cease to impress when it comes to a sculpt on a Pteranodon, or pretty much any figure, honestly, for that matter. But as far as Pteranodons go, I feel like they are some of the most screen accurate looking figures that they've created. They really perfectly match to what they look like in Jurassic Park 3 sculpt wise, sporting an incredibly highly detailed sculpt in every possible area, and just again that picture perfect screen accuracy that I love. On top of the screen accurate paintwork, you have screen accurate sculpt, which really completes the entire figure into a beautiful, beautiful Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon. And then you have the addition of some incredible articulation, as you usually do from the Amber Collection line, which on a Pteranodon, that is extremely awesome. And the fact that the wings are flexible and bendable is even more incredible, if you ask me. I love the fact that the wings can articulate and bend with the wire. I'm hoping that's something that will last over time, but honestly, the wings feel like they're really high quality, like they're way more high quality than I expected them to. So I feel like they will stand the test of time, but I guess the only way to really know is to allow time to take its course on this figure. But it feels like they are really nice, very high quality wings as far as the material used, and they should last a very, very long time. And then, of course, there's articulation all over the figure and all the other areas as well, sporting even articulation in the hands, which I did not expect. So tons of articulation on the Pteranodon, beautiful paintwork, beautiful sculpt, impressive size, a really cool base. Everything about this is insanely awesome. This is, again, in my opinion, the best Amber Collection release so far. So if you would like to pick this up, I actually ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store, which I thought was going to be a horrible idea. So I ended up ordering it from somewhere else. Movies Unlimited, I believe, had it up for pre-order for a little bit cheaper. And then I forgot all about my Big Bad Toy Store pre-order and never canceled it. And then I got a charge on my card the other day telling me that they actually had it in stock, which I thought was pretty crazy because Big Bad Toy Store is usually one of the last places in the world to get their figures, it seems. But but I was really quite amazed that they had stock already, and even though it's a bit more expensive than you normally would have to pay for an Amber Collection figure, I was okay with it just because this and the Tiger Raptor had arrived a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, FedEx is a total nightmare, and this figure was supposed to be delivered about 4 days ago to me, and it just got here today as FedEx just decided they didn't want to deliver it, and it was just sitting in a warehouse about probably an hour from me for 4 days. No idea why, but it finally is here now, and I couldn't be more happy about it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous figure. So if you would like to pick one up, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on Big Bad Toy Store, or it will be coming into stock at Target very soon. Either way, make sure you pick this figure up because it is awesome, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.